have a special guest, came all the way from Buffalo. Is it snowing there now? Or? But, but he wanted to say a few words, and this is the respect that people have for TWU and what we've done. And this is Senator Tim Kennedy.
Well, good evening, everybody. How are we all doing tonight? Wow, what a great event. First of all, I got to tell you how incredibly honored I am to be here with you tonight. In New York City, the heartbeat of the state, the heartbeat of the nation, the heartbeat of the international community, celebrating with TWU Local 100, celebrating the life and the legacy of Mike Quill and James Connolly, two extraordinary labor leaders, two extraordinary Irish leaders, two fighters for independence, two fighters for the people. You know, you have a couple other fighters for the people here tonight, people that I work with very closely on your behalf each and every day. First and foremost, can we have another round of applause for Tony Utano? Let me tell you something, folks. We're very lucky and blessed to have Tony Utano leading the charge here for Local 100. We met some years back on Election Day, up a few stops, out there working, I'm sure with many of you, fighting for people like me that care about you, to have a voice in Albany, in the Capitol, to make sure that we're looking out for the needs of the people that make the system run each and every day. And you know, there's something to be said about leading from the front of the pack. There's something to be said about Tony Utano when he's out there handing out flyers and making sure that the political establishment is paying attention to the workers in the union that he represents each and every day. Tony, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for everything you do for your membership each and every day. My great friend, John Samuelson. John will tell you a little bit more than I can tell you about his own Irish roots. But you know, he's got family in Derry and in Belfast up in the north that has informed the way he thinks about people, he thinks about the world, he thinks about society. And I look in this room here today, and I think about the diversity that makes up TWU Local 100 and TWU International. And to have somebody like John Samuelson fighting the fight, the tip of the sword is TWU when it comes to transportation. I can tell you that as transportation chair in the Senate and working with Governor Hochul to deliver for your union, to make sure New York State is looking out for you, to make sure Washington is paying attention. You know, Jim just talked a little bit about it, but I want to just go back a couple of years and then into last year's budget. You know, I talk about divine intervention a lot. And I think about January 5th of last year. Remember what happened on January 5th last year? We all remember January 6th. Remember what happened on January 5th? We won Georgia, folks. 2 seats in Georgia the Democrats won. And you know what happened after that? The CARES Act was passed. Billions of dollars that came to this country and to this state and to the MTA to make sure that you folks had the resources to do your job, to help our community, to make sure that the heartbeat of the nation and of the international community had the resources it needed to move the people. And you folks are on the front line every single day. You know, I might be from Buffalo, but I'm Irish, and I'm a Democrat, and I come from a union household, and I bleed organized labor. It's in my DNA. It's where I come from. And so again, to stand here at TWU Local 100's Quill Connolly event to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's Month where I come from, I will tell you, I do proclaim Buffalo the Irish capital of the United States of America. I just want to go on the record and say that. I got to take care of home base, folks. I'm sorry. But you know, I look around, and I just want to tell a quick couple of stories if I could, and I'm going to be fast, I promise. 2 things. One, the diversity in this room. And we talk about the fight in the North for the Irish that fought against the English for independence. And you know what happened over the troubles from the 60s into the 70s, 80s, 90s, settled with the Good Friday Peace Accord in the North? You know why they fought that fight? They looked at the fight for civil rights happening here in our country, and they took that fight to the streets of Belfast and Derry and in the North, and it resulted ultimately in the Good Friday Peace Accord. Peace now for over 20 years, and a fragile peace at that, but peace nonetheless. And let me tell you something else about the connections between the Irish and the African American communities, because again, I love to see a room like this and the diversity that makes up this great union. I was telling Richard Davis a little while ago, and my new friend from Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, Charles Jenkins, about the African American Irish Diaspora Network. You know what? This is an organization that's bringing us all together. Go look it up. We can all be a part of it. The African American Irish Diaspora Network. It's being led by folks throughout our nation that want to bring our communities together. And I'm reminded of one of the greatest American heroes to ever live, very underappreciated in the annals of history, but somebody, when he left the wretches of slavery, you know where he ended up? New York City, baby, on Chambers Street. Frederick Douglass, a New Yorker, by the way, buried in upstate New York in Rochester. In 1845, after he wrote his autobiography, you know where he went when his life was being threatened? He went to Ireland. And he befriended Daniel O'Connell, the great emancipator. And you know what Douglass became known as? The Black O'Connell. He referred to himself as the Black O'Connell. It was a great compliment. You know what Frederick Douglass said later in the 1890s when he talked about his days in Ireland? He said it was the only time in his lifetime that he was treated where the color of his skin didn't matter. And when he came home to the United States, and he came to New York, and he helped to lead the fight for civil rights here in this country and helped inform President Lincoln on the future of our country. He did so with grace, and he did so with many of the lessons he learned from O'Connell in the fight against the English over in Ireland. So we come together here as one today to celebrate the great history and the great strength and the diversity and the goals in the fight for organized labor led by TWU International and TWU Local 100. And as a Buffalo boy, I gotta tell you, I'm honored just to stand here in your presence here tonight. Thank you so much for making me a part of this tonight. And I gotta tell you something, I'm looking forward to a continued fight together to make sure you have what you need every single day you go out there and work for our community. Thank you, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day.